by the selfish games of political parties. Corruption has woven a web that is extinguishing the light of our futures.
Something big is happening right now, and it's not in Washington, London, or Beijing. It's in places most of the world rarely pays attention to.
We need a new youth, new power, and new politicians who are well educated to move the country forward.
For years, Gen Z has been laughed at. Boomers and millennials call them the TikTok generation, addicted to brain rot, glued to their phones, and too soft to handle real life. But here's the twist. It's this same so-called TikTok generation that's standing up to corruption, inequality, and failed governments, louder than anyone else. And the latest uprising? Madagascar. Welcome to GreyBTC. Like and subscribe, it means the world to me. Now, for those who don't know, Madagascar isn't just the name of a kid's movie, it's a huge island off the southeast coast of Africa. It's famous for lemurs, rainforests, and yeah, some of the fattest crocodiles you'll ever see. But behind the wildlife documentaries and exotic postcards lies a country struggling with brutal poverty. Millions live on less than $2 a day, and now they're being pushed to the breaking point. In the capital, Antananarivo, thousands of young people, mostly Gen Z, have taken to the streets. They're furious about blackouts that last more than 12 hours a day and water shortages that leave entire neighborhoods stranded. And their anger has a target, President Andry Rajoelina. Reelected in 2023, he promised change. Instead, things got worse. Young protesters say he's delivered nothing but drunken promises, while his inner circle grows richer and ordinary people starve. The protests exploded fast. Crowds gathered at universities, waving signs, blasting music, and chanting for Rajoelina to step down. And when the police showed up, they didn't hold back. Tear gas, rubber bullets, and a brutal crackdown that left the streets filled with smoke. These young protesters call themselves the TikTok generation. They took the insult and turned it into a badge of honor. They're saying, yeah, we grew up on memes and short videos, but we're not stupid. We see the corruption, we live the poverty, and we won't shut up about it. It's actually kind of poetic. When Rajoelina was a young man, he led his own protests, and the establishment let him. But now that Gen Z is rising, they're mocked as idiots and crushed with police violence. The double standard is glaring, and still, they refuse to back down. After days of unrest, with banks robbed, shops torched, and even the homes of pro-government parliamentarians set on fire, Rajoelina finally admitted failure. He fired his prime minister, dissolved the government, and promised dialogue with the youth. But here's the question young people are asking. Why now? Why should we believe you this time? Because this isn't just about Madagascar. Zoom out, and you'll see the same story repeating itself all over the world. In Kenya, Gen Z protests forced the government to roll back brutal tax hikes earlier this year. In Nepal, young people filled the streets of Kathmandu demanding an end to corruption that has stolen their futures. In Peru, students risked their lives facing riot police just to hold politicians accountable. It's wild, isn't it? The same generation that's mocked as lazy, glued to their phones, and obsessed with TikTok trends is the one stepping up when governments fail. They're organizing online, mobilizing offline, and proving they're not brain dead, they're wide awake. And that's the twist. The world looks like it's falling apart, but maybe it's healing. Maybe this is what healing actually looks like. Messy, loud, chaotic, but necessary. Gen Z is showing us something older generations forgot. When you've got nothing left to lose, you gain the courage to fight for something better. The question is simple. Will Gen Z be the generation that tears the system down, or the one that rebuilds something better? If you've made it this far, here's what I'll leave you with. Gen Z is no longer the punchline. They are the front line. The world's youngest generation is standing up in places most of us barely pay attention to, and their voices are getting louder. Whether it's blackouts in Madagascar, tax hikes in Kenya, or corruption in Nepal, they've had enough. So the next time you hear someone dismiss Gen Z as TikTok brain rot, remember this. These so-called clowns are the ones staring down riot police, demanding accountability, and pushing leaders out of power. Have you been watching GreyBTC? Like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. And if you like this video, you might also like why Charlie Kirk's death would mean the end of American democracy.